Late as always. Late as always, Craig. Late as always.
Craig.
Well, he had to walk Egg back to Canada, and then he decided to help him to Eggcon that's happening this weekend. So it took him a little bit longer.
Egg?
He did.
No,
that's what I heard.
I called him Ed.
Three out of four definitely heard that.
No, he had to bring him to Eggcon later.
Nope, that's not what you said though.
Anyway. We're the Grumpy Dungeon Masters. I'm Jay, joined with my co-host, Christopher, Christian, and Dan. Say hi, guys.
Oh, hi, guys.
Hello there.
All right, can we just start the intro? I got stuff.
All right, we're going to do social media real quick. Christian, where can they find us on social medias?
You can find the Grumpy Dungeon Masters on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, because that is a podcast place, apparently. And you can find us streaming on Twitch TV, Tuesday and Thursday evenings. We are currently playing through the Shifting Sands DLC for the game Soul Mask.
Egyptian glory.
Yeah. My
Lame.
assistance.
Yep. All right, there you go. Chris, you get 5 minutes.
I got 5 minutes. All right. So over the past couple weeks, and by we I mean me, and by we I also mean just the people that play Adventures League with me, which is now D&D Encounters, which per WotC only lasts for 4 weeks, and then Adventure League takes back over. But I'm not. Yeah, it's really weird. What
don't even explain.
I'm not gonna try to explain it, but technically they just want encounters for 4 weeks each season, and that's it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna call it D&D Encounters from here on out. I'm not gonna swap back and forth every 4 weeks and do adventures for 4 weeks and encounters for 4 weeks. So we finished D&D Encounters for the Shadows of Sithicus, and let me tell you, I think more than half of the players died multiple times completing the adventure. And that's not just my table, but the other table as well. Now,
sounds like a good adventure.
I don't think it was a bad thing. I think it was overall, it was good. The encounters were hard. They were kind of brutal. Even with a long rest every week, and short rests as needed, the encounters themselves did things that caused too much damage that couldn't be healed over time, like the shadow's strength drain, as well as kind of what I wanted to hone in on, instant kill abilities. If the ability brings you to 0 hit points, you are dead, and that's it. The bad guy that they had for the 3rd adventure, I believe. That monster, I'm going to pull him up here real quick. He's called the Priest of Osybus, whatever. Osybus.
Bocephus, got it.
Bocephus.
Whatever.
He's got a ranged necrotic bolt that does like 4d12 plus 4 necrotic damage, and you can't heal if you get hit by it. He can throw 2 of those a turn. Or he could also do 2 soul blades. Soul blades are 9 piercing damage. And if you get hit by it, you're automatically paralyzed until the start of the priest's next turn. And if you get reduced to 0 hit points, you die as your soul gets absorbed by the knife. So between those 2 abilities, I think I killed 3 players with it. Just hitting them with the necrotic bolt and walking up and stabbing them.
Hey, Great Christopher, one question.
Mm-hmm.
What campaign setting is this set in?
Well, it's Sithicus, so it's Ravenloft or
Domains of Dread.
Domains of Dread.
So good. That's the way it should be. That way. It's the Domains of Dread, not the Domains of Happiness and Rainbows.
I get that, but I don't know. I don't mind a trap. Okay, I don't mind like like Tomb of Annihilation, where a blade comes down from the ceiling, and if you fail your deck save, you take the full damage, and if you reduce you to 0 hit points, you die. I'm good with that. I would design that. But just a guy just walking
No.
around.
Yes,
I don't know.
the whole thing of Ravenloft is it's a horror campaign. Heroes are supposed to be few and far between because no one dares stand up. It's supposed to be horrific and hard.
Okay, so
I don't know.
So this is new. This is new, as in nothing in 5th edition was like that. Even 3rd edition really wasn't like that. That's very 1st edition, 2nd edition levels of bastardry, to be nice about it. It sounds like WotC might be paying attention to what the competition is doing. And I say competition very loosely, obviously, because D&D is still number 1 by a mile. But Shadow Dark has had a huge run of success. DCC fucking killing it. There are plenty of other games out there. Pirate Borg. Every one of them gives no shits about your character. Your character is there to try and survive. That's
Those
it.
are vastly different games. And in
So,
D&D,
can I-
you are
can
a
I-
hero.
Can I interject real quick here?
Sure.
You're acting like this is not something that's been existing in D&D 5e since 2014. It
No.
absolutely fucking has. You know why?
It has.
Wraiths, you get down to 0 hit points. And what happens when you get down to 0 hit points and a Wraith life drains you? You're fucking dead.
Right.
Vampires, you're fucking dead. Strength drain from shadows, you're fucking dead. Like, this isn't a new thing.
Right. No, I get that it's not a new thing. I just, it was, I think it was a lot. Like, it's not just this one guy that you're fighting. His whole mechanic is every time he dies, he comes back with 30 hit points until he either rolls the same deadly boon twice, or he takes more than like 15 damage from a single attack while he's already in that state. And the players, unfortunately, had to go through like 4 or 5 different boons because they weren't dealing a lot of damage to him. But regardless, I don't mind the instant kill effects if it's like a 1-2 punch from monsters. Kind of like I get you low, and while you're bleeding out, I hit you, and then that kills you. I think I'm a little bit better with that from a design standpoint than just being reduced to 0 hit points and getting killed. Because this wasn't the only guy in this adventure that did that.
They still have. It still has to
mentioned-
reduce you to 0 hit points, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can't heal.
It's not a kill unless you're fighting it at first level.
Well, they were running at 4th level, and like I said, I still churned through 3 of them. I think
sure, but it's not a one-hit kill.
It is not a one-hit kill, which is fine. Okay. There was also the next boss was a giant mosquito, like a Sturge Master or something like that. And if he reduced you to 0 hit points, that killed you as well too. But it wasn't as tanky. It was very like
fight everything.
You have you got to push that mentality out of your brain. This is Adventures League. This is not a campaign. This is tactical combat on a weekly basis. So the answer is fight everything, because that is the exact setup. If I was sitting at a table, it'd be very different. You can
still play it smart and still try to look for things that give you the advantage, things that set the battlefield up for you, ways that you can get around things. You can still do those things. I'm not saying that Adventures League players are doing that, but those are still within the realm of possibility.
Now, see, that's not how these are set up. So let me frame this thing, how this encounter is set up. Okay, you start in your little village. All right, you're told to take the path next to the railroad. Okay, out of town. You follow the path next to the railroad, and then you're in another domain of dread, where you immediately find the person that you're supposed to MacGuffin. You MacGuffin her to where she needs to go. Okay, and you're immediately, without warning, without any ability to react, knocked out and put into prison. In the prison, you basically have to start a mechanical spider. You start the mechanical spider, the guy opens the door, lets you into the next room. That is it. There is no...
I love the Wild Wild West throwback. Anyway.
There is no planning of a battlefield. There's just you're in room A, then you're in room B. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
So
the
it's
east
the old
side,
Dragonlance
I'm on the west
modules
side.
that were terrible.
I mean,
So
basically, yes.
you're really just forced into the situation, and you have to react. Like
So it's a bad adventure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the weekly setup of Adventures League and encounters, I guess it was fine. The players, I think, had a great time. I think they enjoyed the harder encounters. I think they enjoyed just the weekly aspect to it because the story was relatively okay. Because it does tie in a little bit with the live play stream that is happening on D&D Beyond with what's his name? The guy that plays Asterion and the girl that plays Lae'zel and all them. So like it does have purpose and meaning, I guess. There is a grander story, but it's really hard to like have that sense of like you're in control being here's the monster of the week. And I don't know. I didn't feel like the players were given much of an opportunity to do what you were saying in these adventures, to like actually prepare to fight these things or even know what they were fighting ahead of time. It was just like
So
pushed into the room.
Let me tell you what my players went through tonight because it's pretty goddamn similar. Nobody died because they ran the fuck away, which was smart. So they're going, it's DCC Caverns of Thracia. They're going down a 10-foot wide hallway in marching order, tank up front, cleric pulling up the rear. All of a sudden, the lights go out completely. And mind you, they have a magical light source, so it's just snuffed out. And then the tank gets attacked and loses a point of wisdom and a point of stamina. So then we roll initiative. They go first. Everybody's trying to figure out what the fuck's attacking them because it's completely dark. Wizards can't target anything for their spells, so they're mostly ineffective. Fighters can't really hit anything. They stood there more or less the first round and did almost nothing. The second round, the same thing, except this time 3 people lose wisdom and stamina as they're getting attacked by fucking shadows who can just darkness every round and give no fucks about your armor.
Yeah.
So every attack's gonna basically hit. After the 2 rounds of that, every one of them just noped the fuck out. And that's wisdom loss is permanent. Fortunately, the cleric did not get hit. The stamina loss was temporary, however. And yes, if they had dropped to 0, they would have become shadows themselves. Sometimes you just gotta run. And I'm not saying you could have in your game, because it sounds like it's poorly.
You definitely cannot run. Like there is no opportunity. There is no falling back. There is no running away.
That's a railroad. Like literally not the one they were following, just the design of the adventure is a railroad.
I kind of joked with them. I was like, hey, yeah, you got to leave this town via the railroad. They go, oh, there's a railroad there? I was like, no, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's not. I'm just letting you know what this is. I'm being very upfront. And, I don't mind, like, if that monster was set up. I don't mind if that was the way it was, or if it was shown off. And like, oh shit, we can't melee this guy at all, I don't mind it being hard. I don't mind it being difficult, but I don't know how I feel about it in this railroad-esque setup that this thing existed. The next fight is with a giant, mosquito sturge man and a T-Rex for some reason. Like, all right.
Like, I'll go back to what I was saying. Bad adventure.
Did they just fucking like pull out the jungle random encounter table and like, yeah, giant sturge and a T-Rex. Yeah. That seems like the right CR for the party.
Is the sturge riding the T-Rex?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
The air, like freaking Jetpack Cat in Overwatch.
What the fuck?
Yes. Everything you just said, yes. It pretty much just like it was the final Shadow Raven that the players had to find, and they had to fight it. But it was not as tanky as this guy that could one-hit you. You know,
Chris, can we play? Can we play this module? I want to play this module.
I'll be more than
Mental note,
happy to let you guys do
Never
it.
play
Like,
D&D encounters.
like I said, I could turn this into a really good campaign, you know, because the story is there. You can do the play along story where you actually have to do what the streamers did on the live play. Like you could actually go through that and then play these modules, and I think it would be pretty good. Like overall, I don't think it'd be bad, but I think you would have, as a campaign, you'd have people sitting around going, "Oh shit, okay, what are we going to be fighting in this place? What are we going to be? What kind of domain is this?" Like, you get all these cool boons and buffs along the way to like understand the environment that you're in, but none of the players even try to figure that out really beyond like, are we in a jungle place or something? Well, I don't really blame them for it though, because when you set up that, hey, this is just going to be a railroad, then they're like, okay, we're on the track, let's go. You know, saddle up the horses, let's move it.
That
They're
is
not
kind of
gonna
what's
try.
expected. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
kind of expected at like D&D adventures or whatever they're calling it these days.
Yeah. So like, I
But
felt like
is
there was a lot of
expectation of you're not really get to choose what your character does. You're just going to show up in the scene that I set you in, and then we're going to
roll dice
fight.
until you defeat
Yeah.
monsters. Yay!
So it's
And
a
so-
board game.
Yeah, so eventually
Yes.
that's kind of what I wanted to bring up here, is that I feel like, especially this D&D Encounters was literally just Dungeons and Dragons the board game, not Dungeons and Dragons as it should be. And I think that's my ultimate thing that I want to kind of get across, is I do not feel that running encounters in any way was anything more than just, I am the big bad that they're there to fight. I'm trying to kill them, and I have no other options at my disposal. And I really didn't like it. I like I said, I don't mind running for the players. The people that show up are great. It's not on them at all. It's 100% on what WotC left for us. Like, I did not enjoy running this encounters because I don't think I had any way of helping them, saving them, you know, getting them through the situation.
WotC isn't exactly known for churning out masterpieces. I mean,
I understand, but I don't want to blame the writers either. Like,
I'm not. They have a lot of constraints. They're
yeah.
hampered as much as anybody.
So I just don't. I don't really know how I feel about it, because so one of the players decided to use Sleet Storm, and I think in 5e or 5.5e, look it up here, get the exact definitions.
Does that create difficult terrain?
Yeah, it's the one that makes difficult terrain and deals a little bit of damage, I think.
I think it's just mostly it disrupts concentration and makes difficult terrain, which I guess would be good if you're trying to stay the heck away from something.
Yeah. So Sleet Storm, until the spell ends, sleet falls on a 40-foot by 20-foot cylinder centered on a point you choose within range. The area is heavily obscured, and exposed flames in areas are doused. Ground in the cylinder is difficult terrain. When a creature enters for the first time or starts its turn there, it must succeed a dexterity saving throw or have the prone condition and lose concentration. So like,
play.
It's a good play. One of the druid players started off with that on the boss and all of his minions. His minions was like 4 cult fanatics and 4 spies. So he started off with that, and I had to be like, okay, that sounds pretty good. He kind of wants to like wall them off. But then I had to look up what heavily obscured meant. And heavily obscured says you have the blinding condition while trying to see something in heavily obscured space. So his idea of kind of like encasing them in fog with the sleet storm basically was pointless, because they could see the outside party, but the outside party couldn't see them inside.
That's a stupid definition.
And I agree with him. I 100% do. Like, so the guys inside can't see the other people inside the sleet cloud, but looking out, they can see fine.
Yeah, 100%. I would have said, fuck that. No, disadvantage on everybody.
So yeah, so I kind of like I have to, you know, I have to do what I've been
Rules as
sworn
written.
to
Yeah.
to the WotC demons as written, and I have to just write it as written, and so they can see out fine. You guys can't see in at all. Well, you're blinded in that case. And he's like, "Well, that's fucking stupid." I'm like, "I agree, sir. I agree."
Disadvantage on you, disadvantage on your family, disadvantage on your cow.
Like it would have been. I think it would have been better for him just to like cast fog cloud. That would have maybe done the same thing.
Probably.
Does the same thing.
If that's the new description that they give for heavily obscured, just blinding the people looking into it, then yeah, that's dumb. And
Yeah.
I would never use that ever.
Yeah, fog cloud just puts them heavily obscured the same way. I'm pretty sure that's the way it always has been, though, ever since I started playing 5e. Because I'm pretty sure that was the rule in 4th edition as well. That when they're heavily obscured, they can see you fine, but you can't see them. I'm looking up a legacy for heavily obscured. A creature effectively suffers from the blinding condition when trying to see something in that area. So yeah, even in normal 5e, it was the same way.
There is apparently a RADA for that.
Really?
Yeah. Now
I mean, this
is a quick Google search, but I think there is a RADA that fixes that.
Yeah, I think that is something they.
Anyway, no need to dig too heavily into this right now. We have other shit to talk about, but
so again, with the one hit, with the monster that kills you, the shades, the wraiths, all that stuff, like
not a one hit monster. It's
fair.
You got to get him down to 0 hit points. That's not one hit kill.
But when you have a 30 damaging ability, you do outrange and you just walk up and like, oop.
Sure, yeah, if you maxed out on the roll, you could only do 4.
Yep.
True, but that's
a big difference.
It's a big difference, but that hardly ever happens. Plus, you couldn't heal. That came up as an issue. I mean, granted, like I said, I think all the players had a good time. I just hope the next D&D Encounters that starts in September with the Season of Magic or whatever is not as railroady, because it really felt like it was. I think they tried to have this big, huge group of people playing with multiple tables and stuff like that. I ain't got enough players in the area for it to be that way. Maybe I don't know what I'll do, but I'm glad this existed. I'm glad we got the stuff. I'm glad we got support. I just hope that there is more to it later, and it becomes a better thing overall. But that's neither here nor there.
One quick question before we move off this.
Mm-hmm.
So these encounters, at least this one and maybe the next one, are tie-ins, follow-ups to the live play that's going on?
Yes.
How many of your players had watched that live play? I know you know what's going on, but how many of the players actually follow that at your table?
I think one went back and watched a live play once I mentioned it. But the thing is that these encounters are stuff that happens post that live play.
Sure.
So
I'm not saying it's required viewing. I'm just wondering, how relevant that is to anyone that's actually playing these. Does that matter that there's a live play that's going on that's part of it? Do they care?
I mean, I don't know if they cared or not, but I think it's neat that WotC set it up that way.
Okay. And no shade on WotC or live plays or anything for that. I'm just wondering. I was just curious as to how much of was there actually hey, people watched it and are excited to play this.
I don't think that happened.
Yeah, probably not. All right, moving on. I wanted to talk about the Deathbringer backer kit that is currently going on. So have any of you guys backed this or are planning on it?
Yeah.
You did, or you're planning on it?
I did. I went the minimum level to get the
core stuff. Yeah,
the core stuff.
Same. I would.
I couldn't. I mean, I like Professor Dungeon Master well enough, but I don't know. I don't need another version of Shadow Dark. But I also like the fact that Kelsey is all into it, and she's even writing a module for it. So I feel like I should check it out at least. So
Yeah,
I backed it.
and like it's not excessively expensive to get in. It's not like 200 plus or anything like that. Like the to get the core, and it's a pretty good bit of shit, was 125. And I mean, I've paid that plenty of fucking times. So just for anybody who's not familiar with what Deathbringer is, and it's had a lot of hype leading up to this or I'm gonna keep calling it Kickstarter, even though it's backerkit. I'm just gonna read the synopsis of it from the thing. Deathbringer is dark fantasy stripped to the bone, savage, blood-soaked, and merciless. It honors the old school roots of the hobby and burns away everything that slows it down. Heroes here are dark, gritty things. The weak and prim do not survive this age. One tight D20 core. Roll, add your stat, beat the number. Beneath that simplicity, escalating danger, cinematic violence, and choices that matter. Every session plays like the final chapter of a legend. Fully compatible with Shadow Dark and all OSR games, but it plays by its own brutal rules. It's not, I don't know the specifics of the thing, obviously, but it does work with Shadow Dark and OSE, which is probably what I would end up running around with it in. I know that some of the things that sort of help it stand out is you every time you get dropped to 0 hit points, you get a new talent. But you also have things like gaining a scar, losing limbs, losing an eye, shit like that. The third time you go to 0, your character goes out in a blaze of glory. You automatically crit on one attack, and then you die permanently.
Pretty metal.
It's fucking metal as hell.
It sounds metal, but it sounds just like Shadow Dark to me.
I mean, it's supposed to sound similar to Shadow Dark, yes.
Then why not just play Shadow Dark? Why not just write a module for Shadow Dark?
Because it's not actually Shadow Dark. It's generic enough. It can use the basic rules for Shadow Dark or OSE or original D&D Basic. It's got different, it's got all the different classes that would come with it. The Battle Nun, which I love.
It is a little different because it is actually going from level 1 to 20.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Which is, yeah. And I don't know how much it's going to follow I wonder how much the character stuff is going to follow the Shadow Dark talents at odd levels and random talents or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like the marketing for it. It feels, I don't know.
I like Deathbringer.
It feels like it needs to be the cover of a 1980s Anthrax album. And I don't know. I'm not that kid anymore. So that wasn't really what sold me on it.
Yeah, I am.
But I've listened to Professor Dungeon Master talk a number of times. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's talking about in most things, especially with the OSR. And I've heard for years about his game, Deathbringer.
Yeah.
For years. So like when it finally showed up on backerkit, I'm like, okay, I got to check this out. And then I, like you, Christian, I was kind of just immediately turned off by the marketing for it. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. And also like the box sets. I mean, Jay, you said it right. Like you only need $60 to get into the game. But like the two top tiers on there are like the $599 box set and the $299 box set. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But it comes with like pretty wicked looking male or female Deathbringer like models like that you get shipped and
all of the ultimate dungeon terrain.
That's cool and all, but again,
I
don't even know if I'm ever going to run this. So I'm not dropping that kind of cash on it.
I mean, he's looking at it for I probably wouldn't run it, but I might steal rules from it.
Exactly. I will look at it and I'll probably mine pieces of it that I want. And
but at the same time, So there actually was a before this. He released a trifold little pamphlet of his Deathbringer rolls. I think it was kind of a hack on modern D&D, but it gave you basically, hey, you can, with this trifold double-sided pamphlet, you can run a game using only these rules. And it was pretty neat, actually. I liked that, and it has a lot of the same stuff. It has, and this is the thing I've thought about adopting already for Shadow Dark, is replacing luck tokens with, I guess, what he calls his Deathbringer
The
dice.
death dice.
Just a
yeah.
D6, basically. D6, you can use it for whatever.
Yep.
Um,
One thing there where this very, very much differs from Shadow Dark is the exploding damage dice. So
Yeah.
you roll max damage, you just keep rolling. It also does actually have fumble tables, which is not something I've seen in a long time, really, other than DCC.
Roll master.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna go out also and say I don't love the art. It looks like everything else that Roll for Combat does for art, which means it looks like their Pathfinder art.
They're involved in it, so yes.
Yeah.
So they're
That was
using their
kind of the.
stable.
I didn't want to mention that, but that was kind of the other thing.
I'm
It was
gonna
like,
mention it.
yeah, I backed Shadowfinder when I was first getting into Shadow Dark, because it was one of the first things that kind of popped up, and I'm like, oh sure, yeah, it would be helpful to have like an entire extra book full of monsters. I'm familiar with all the Pathfinder monsters, sure, whatever. And I didn't read too much into it until the book arrived, and it is just no shit. Monster Manual, or the Bestiary 1 through 4 of Pathfinder SRD, fame, just converted straight up to Shadow Dark stats, and I looked at it and was like, if I really wanted to do this, I literally just could have done it myself for the individual monsters that I may or may not want to pull from Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Not that there's many of them, but this it was a waste of my money. I'm probably end up selling the book, to be honest. I'm underwhelmed by everything that they've come out with. They seem to be very prolific. A lot of people like them, and good on the people that do. Apparently, there's enough of a fan base for a more Pathfinder-like version of Shadow Dark, which just I don't know why you would want to do that. If you want a simpler version of Pathfinder, play Pathfinder 1.
There's a few. I mean, their recent Kickstarter is like they have like 270 backers, so it's a small hardcore fan base, which good for them if that's what they like, but it's not for me.
Deathbringer has already cracked 1 million and 25 days left to go.
Yeah,
that's riding on Professor Dungeon Master's tails.
Oh, yeah, no, it definitely
is. That's more him than them.
And Roll for Combat. So
and I don't no shade for Roll for Combat. They hit the Pathfinder art great for Pathfinder products. It looks like Pathfinder. They've got one of the original designers for Pathfinder 1E and works on parts of 2E, works for them. So they've got the Pathfinder chops. Mm-hmm. It's just, and I don't think that all Shadow Dark art has to all be black and white. Like, I'm all for people blazing their own trail with Shadow Dark supplements and third-party stuff and making color and vibrant, cool stuff. But this just feels like I've seen a lot of Roll for Combat Kickstarters, and the art looks the same, and that bothered me.
Yeah,
because I think that it should go for a different feel.
Yeah, what was the last one? Battle Zoo Ancestries.
Battle Zoo Beast. Yeah,
which I'm still waiting on my copies of at some point.
They did another one for Eldamon, which is their version of Pokemon for Pathfinder.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, I just saw. I see that. I will say I appreciate somebody's actually doing a Pokemon flavored RPG, because surprisingly, nothing really out there. There's not much. Because I was looking into it for my son, and there's not much available unless you just want to use one of the anime RPG things, which are kind of too adult themed, to be honest.
So clarify something for me real quick. The Roll for Combat, that's its own system, right?
No,
No.
It's a
they're
publishing
their
company.
own company that does third-party products primarily for Pathfinder, but they've been dipping their toe into Shadowdark recently.
Yeah, looking at their
Okay.
their backer kits, they have 12 backer kits that have come to fruition. They're primarily 5e in Pathfinder 2e. That's what most of their stuff. Their first
Yeah.
7 backer kits were. The last 5, we've got Deathbringer. We have another Battle Zoo Ancestries, which is for 5e in Pathfinder. Battle Zoo Eldamon Legends, which is, I guess, a Pokemon.
It's
Is it for
Pokemon.
Shadowdark or is it for 5e?
It's for 5e and Pathfinder.
Okay. And then we got another Battle Zoo Ancestries for races and Ancestors for 5e and Pathfinder, and then another one, 3 new Battle Zoo Secret Tomes for Shadowdark, which just kind of looks like their 5e stuff turned black and white.
Is that the monster manuals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the ones I backed. Yeah.
Yeah, I backed those too, and that one actually had the most backers of any of their Kickstarter, their backer kits aside from Deathbringer.
That one popped up right after Diamond stole all of their books.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of support. No, I like Roll for Combat guys anyway, but there was a lot of excess support for them right after that happened. So I'm not surprised that one got a lot of fucking backers.
Yeah, I like the guys behind it. Steven Glicker and Mark Cypher, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Decent guys. I don't have anything against them. I'm just not a
We're not Pathfinder people.
or 5e
Yeah.
player, really.
Yeah.
So
Not anymore. Yeah. If I was into Pathfinder again, I would be backing the shit out of all their stuff.
Oh,
every
yeah.
time they came out with it.
Sure. Yeah, they've got the
This
chops.
does feel and look a lot like Pathfinder, but they did kind of alter the art a little bit for Deathbringer, and like I said, it does look like an 80s metal cover, with like the half naked Deathbringer girl, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's just popping out of her brassiere here, but and also on the pile of skulls, but yeah, I don't hate the art. It's just not really for me, I guess. I'm just old. Like I don't know.
Yep. Yell at clouds more.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
so. I mean, the Battle Nun looks like she just got out of Deathstalker. I mean, I don't even know how you're fighting that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, tastes are subjective. Some people probably dig the art, and that's fine.
Sure.
I'm not telling people what art
As
they
a
should or should
13-year-old
not
boy,
like.
I would dig the hell out of this art.
For
I
me,
just-
for me, even the art style, it's still. I'm with you. It screams very Pathfinder, but the theme, I fucking dig it. Like I still love that whole. You were saying as a kid this would have been great for you.
Yeah.
For me, I still am that kid. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
never
fair.
changed. I fucking love heavy metal music and everything that even looks metal as shit. So
I hope
Yeah.
that it's, like Mork Borg is pretty grimdark, but if you really read it, like it takes itself kind of tongue in cheek. Like it knows what it's about, and it is playing it for the fun, right? It's being grimdark for the sake of over the top grimdark for the sake of fun. And I hope that that's what this is doing as well.
I mean, the rule system and everything that you can read about on the backer kit sounds like that's what it's going for. Like it's supposed to be fast play, absolutely fucking lethal, and just it should be a hell of a good time. Definitely a thing that you'd want to play at like a con or something.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping at GaryCon next year we can play it all together, and I'll see if like maybe somebody's running it at LugCon this year.
Sure. Well, it may
I-
not be out, and this may not be out by then, but
Yeah, but yeah, it'd be great if it was. I'd love to play it.
yep. All right,
And good on them for having an over $1 million Kickstarter. That's great.
Yeah.
Now for my opinion on it, real
Oh,
quick.
for fuck's sake!
Hey, no, go for it, man. We
This
all
guy's
got
fucking
opinions.
Yeah, I'm still here. You guys just talking over me. Couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Oh,
Well,
Leon,
you did talk to
feels.
Yeah, you talked to Ed Greenwood for 2 hours. I think you can
Yeah,
listen in for a
you
little.
put Dan in the corner there, buddy.
Fan in the corner. I like his products. I like him as a person.
Master, you mean?
Yeah. I was looking forward to the Deathbringer thing, seeing what it is. I don't understand, and this kind of goes for everything. I don't understand why you would make your own tabletop RPG, especially when there are good ones already out there. What you're doing is just your homebrew rules into a system. I don't think it's going to revolutionize the industry. Like Shadow Dark is out there. I felt like that was pretty good. Hold on.
No, go ahead.
I don't understand why you would basically make another Shadow Dark like product. And that's what turns me off on it. It's like it could be great. It could be the best. Maybe it actually goes through and does something fantastic. But I'm not about to learn another system.
You wouldn't be learning shit. You already know how to play.
Yeah, it's a shadow. So think of it more like this. Think of it like the Crooked Moon guys making a 5e setting that has enough rules changes that it makes it not feel like 5e anymore.
Yeah,
that's what Deathbringer is. There are enough rules changes and unique things about it. It's its own world. You said why not just make a campaign setting? It actually kind of is, which has its own classes. It has its own special abilities, but you're still using the Shadow Dark book for most of the rules.
You also have to realize with Deathbringer, he was running this shit long before Shadow Dark was ever thought of.
Yeah, like, and I get that. Like that, I understand. And
like it's not a Shadow Dark clone. It can work with the Shadow Dark rules, and they probably made some adjustments to make it work better with that. But that was not the intention with this.
Yeah,
I actually kind of agree with Christopher on this. I think this probably could have easily just been a supplement that was a bunch of house rules and modifications for your Shadow Dark game.
Yeah, you could do that and release a 25-page pamphlet or zine if you wanted to. But he has a name. He has a name behind him in the gaming community. Sure. He's got the backing of a lot of people in that. So why not do this?
And just to piggyback on that, that you have Kelsey in his corner, literally writing a module for this thing. So she clearly actually supports it, and it supports him. 1, 2, it puts a focus on Shadow Dark, so it helps her and the Shadow Dark brand work out as well. And 3, how is this any different? Again, I'll go back to Crooked Moon as one of maybe that one's not a great as example, but Tales of Valiant, Nimble, any of the other 5e based on SRD things that are out there. I mean, why do any of those, Christopher? Because people have their own ideas and they want to get them out there, and they don't want to just be, I'm a house rule book for 5e.
No,
that's why.
That's fair. This is the era of the fantasy heartbreaker.
That's really all my only opinion is. I hope it's great. It does look like it's already doing great. When you break $1 million on a backer kit, you did something well. So there's no negativity that way. Like it's a good product. Period. Enough people bought it. Now when it gets delivered and everyone hates it, that's separate. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. You never know how that's going to turn out until it's in people's hands.
Just know that the starter adventure in the book is called the Fungus Licking Cannibal Cult.
Fuck yes.
I just want this so badly. This is like right up my fucking alley.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to the last topic. Christian, we'll let you lead.
Well, there is voting for the Ennie Awards, which are given out at Gencon?
I think so, yes.
Question mark.
That's why I was saying that I thought that they were already happening, but
maybe they're not. I don't know. Or maybe it's not Gencon. Maybe it's Origins or some other. I can't remember for the life of me. It's probably on the website, but I am not going to read that much to find that out right now. But I know
the
that
awards were hosted and given out at Gen Con.
Okay. But the voting appears to be still open.
Well,
Ennies' ceremony is at July 31st.
Is July 30th. So yeah, the only thing that is not open is there's already spotlight winners for the judges' spotlight winners. I guess each of the judges picked a thing. That's what I was looking at
Judge
before.
spotlight announcement. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but the voting is still open, and there's a ton of categories. I don't want to go through all of them, not because there's not neat stuff from very passionate and dedicated people in all of them, but we don't have the time. I just kind of want to go through some of the categories, look at the things that are in there, kind of see what each of you would say. What would your top pick in that category, if anything?
Sure.
Yeah, sounds good.
So I'll start here with the best adventure long form.
Yeah.
And there are 5 of these. I only I know about 3 of them. I know what mine is, but the 5 things for best long form adventure are Historica Arcanum, Serenade for the Damned, Terra Antarctica, The Spark Devil, Tomb of a Thousand Doors, and Vaesen, City of My Nightmares.
So I own a copy of Vaesen, not City of My Nightmares. It's probably, I guess it's an adventure. Yeah, best adventure long form.
Yeah.
The Spark Devil is by the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, which I've seen some of their works before. But if I had to pick one of these, not knowing anything about them, and let's be honest, when we're going through this, that is going to be the vast majority of this stuff. We don't know anything about most of these. I would pick Historic Arcanum, Serenade for the Damned, just because of the name.
Historica Arcanum is a group, I want to say they're out of Turkey, but they do 5e that is loosely based on actual history.
Yeah, that's right.
Hence the name.
They did the one about the Silk Road that I
Yes,
really
they did a
wanted.
Silk Road
Yeah.
one. They did one based on the city of Istanbul, city of the Crescent, I think they called it. Maybe they called it something. Maybe it's different. I'm loosely familiar with their stuff. It looks neat. They have a lot of they do a lot of like, let's take history but put a spin on it so that even if you know history, you don't know all the details here. Like, we've twisted it and made different assumptions.
Right.
Or
Little
kind of
did
done
anyone know that the Silk Road was actually run by a coven of hags.
Oh yeah. It's with full fantasy and D&D stuff in there, so that there's undead and magic and liches and that sort of thing. But they also kind of do it's kind of their like what if universe kind of twist on history. So I would pick Tomb of a Thousand Doors, which is an adventure from Mouse Ritter.
Manodon Tabletop Games and +1 EXP. I don't know who Mouse Ritter is.
Mouse Ritter is a RPG loosely based on Into the Odd, Cairn, and those style of games.
Okay.
But you are all mice in the world as it is, but all the like people and everything is gone, and it's just mice roaming around, and the big bads of the setting are cats.
I like it. Anybody else got thoughts on any of these?
I have not really read up on any of them other than what I'm seeing right now and checking out the art. I mean, I'm sold on the Tomb of a Thousand Doors because the first line on their link is, "What is this? A dungeon for mice?" Anytime that you can walk off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have listened to Billy Zane.
Yeah, fucking Billy Zane. I've always wanted to play Mouse Ritter. And it's a mega dungeon for mice, so I'm.
It's like the size of a coffee table.
Yeah, I'm completely on board.
They're lab rats, man. You gotta go through the maze.
I really like the art, and the other stuff like what the Terra Antarctica. It's by Chaosium. I'm sure it's great. Or does it by Chaosium or Edge?
Yeah, it says Edge.
It's for Arkham Horror, but
okay.
I guess I always confuse the fact that Chaosium doesn't have the exclusive rights to Call of Cthulhu anymore. And Lovecraftian properties.
Everybody does these days.
Everybody does. Yay. Without knowing anything about it, that we can move on. I don't really have much of an opinion here.
Christopher?
Not an opinion.
He doesn't care.
Any of these.
He doesn't care.
No,
It's not
right.
5e.
It's not that I don't care. I just don't know any of these.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
Most of
I
these
look
we
for
are.
I look for Keshnar because that's what I was involved in. He must not have submitted it for any consideration.
It's fair.
All right.
We got to talk about the short form one
Yep.
briefly because I see one in there. I got to talk
Oh,
about.
I will. I am going to do short form. That's next. Short form, there are 5 here. There's Camp Snallygaster. There's The Bride of Pendle. The White Horse of Lowvale. Tragedy at Zaya's Theater. And Whisper of the Woods. Well, I'll go ahead and say mine because I own this and I loved it. And that is The White Horse of Lowvale.
I remember.
Think it's
fantastic. I think we talked about it a while back.
we did because I brought it up.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I got. It was one of my top picks for things I got out of Zine Month or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
but either way,
So.
Tanya Herrero, her stuff and her art and her layout and design is amazing, and that is hands down my pick.
Yeah, I remember looking at that one now. Yeah, that one's cool. But for me, once again, not really knowing anything about any of these, it would have to be Camp Snallygaster. So, you know what a Snallygaster is?
Of course.
Sure. Okay. It's a cryptid that steals liquor. Like that's what it is. It's a southern. I think it's Kentucky, probably. You can look this shit up, but it's a bootlegger. It steals shit.
Dad.
Yeah, it's Wafle's dad.
Dad.
Anyway, I just saw that. I've never seen anything ever, TTRPG revolving around a Snallygaster.
Okay. I have no opinion here, guys. I haven't read any of these, but I have heard you say good things with the White Horse of Lowvale. So,
Yep, Christopher.
Again, probably nothing in the list because unless it's WotC related, I probably haven't touched it.
I'm going to bring up our next one, and I'm going to say I'll beg to differ. The next character I'm going to real quick is your best aid or accessory that is non-digital. And your categories are here, or generically named Game Master Screen.
Yeah, I saw that. Let's see.
The handouts from Ryoko's Lost Notes, which is a 5e Kickstarter supplement from DM Shorts and the Loot Tavern team. Making Enemies, monster design inspiration for tabletop role-playing games. The Crooked Moon Tarot card set. And from Hit Point Press, the Field Guide to Floral Dragons, Dragon Miniature Sets, Botanist, Florist, and Gardener.
Chris probably owns that.
I don't.
Look at it. You should.
it's
actually
really cool. It's actually really cool.
I don't have need for floral dragons at the moment.
You do.
I mean, look at them. They're amazing.
I mean,
well,
I'm surprised minis aren't just their own category.
Nope.
That's weird.
Yeah, I can't say anything about the Crooked Moon Tarot card set since I didn't get it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's not going to win, and it should not win because there's misspellings on the cards, but that's neither here nor
tarot
there.
cards? Not the monster cards or the spell cards. The tarot
it's the spell cards and the item cards. I didn't look at the tarot cards.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to ask my wife because she's the tarot card person, as probably most of our wives are.
Oh, rude. I like tarot cards.
For me, it's the tarot cards because I like the art on them.
I mean, I really hope Crooked Moon as a whole, Advantress kind of as a whole, takes a lot of these awards. Mostly just because I think just as a indie developer, a TikTok short crew, they had some really good characters. They made a lot of good engagement. It had a lot of people. It was very successful, and I think they should be rewarded for that. I don't know. I can tell you the best aid for digital accessories is the Pathfinder 2e, Starfinder 2e, and Foundry VTT. Absolutely. Hands down.
Okay.
Well, okay. So when you use Foundry, okay, it's you buy it once and everyone can log into your server and use it. So it's not a reoccurring cost at all to use that VTT. All right. You have the option to buy their modules, and they sell their modules on it, much like Roll20. And people put more effort into designing Foundry modules than they do Roll20. So if you were to buy a Foundry module, it's more likely going to have everything you need to run that game right out of the gate with no setup at all. And I believe that's the case for Pathfinder and Starfinder, because I've heard rumblings of people that use Foundry and Pathfinder, and they just bought the thing on Foundry and it worked fine for them. So I hope Foundry gets it.
All right.
Good deal.
Moving on. Anyone else want to weigh in?
Nah, I got nothing else. Like I don't know any of this stuff.
Okay. I am going to go over to. I'll note that Crooked Moon is up again for best cover art for their standard edition hardcover.
It was pretty good, but I'd have to see what it was up against.
Look at the collage.
I'm going to go to best cartography, where we have the also generically named Collection of Fantasy Maps 2. Not 1, 2. The Dolmenwood Maps book.
Yeah.
The Pendragon Game Master screen pack. For the new edition of Pendragon. Pilgrims of the Murkdome. Don't know what that is. And Tomb of a Thousand Doors back again. So for this, I went for the Dolmenwood Maps book because Dolmenwood is fantastic.
Agreed. I'm going to go with that one too.
I don't know any of these. I'm just kind of looking at some of them. But...
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll go to one of the big ones. Well, I'll skip here to best game.
Yeah. I was just looking at that. I don't know any of these games.
You don't know Daggerheart that we've talked about?
Never heard of it.
Oh my gosh.
Of these, yeah, I'm going to go with best game is Daggerheart. I've heard good things about Coriolis, though.
I really want a copy of Coriolis.
So to list them all out, it's Coriolis, the Great Dark core rulebook from Free League, Sci-Fi, Space, Roleplaying. There's the Daggerheart core set. There is the Legend in the Mist core book, the Sickest Witch core rulebook, and Thieves of the Tome. That's the only one I don't know what it is.
It looks metal as fuck. I'm just looking at it.
Thieves of the Tome?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
It looks like Rob Zombie drew it.
Oh.
It sure does.
But, yeah, of these, I would probably go for Daggerheart. I'm aware of Sickest Witch, but I haven't played it, don't know it, and I haven't played or know
like
Coriolis.
My assumption is Daggerheart's going to win just because of the fame behind it. But Coriolis, like Coriolis, it's Free League publishing. I've yet to pick up anything of theirs I didn't love immediately. And when that thing was on Kickstarter, like I really wanted to back it, just couldn't at the time. Every time I see a copy of it, I want to pick one up, and at some point I will. Daggerheart, on the other hand, I see it every time I go to my local gaming stores and stuff, and I still have not bothered to try to pick it up because there's nothing in it for me. Like, I know I'll never run it. I won't even really be able to steal ideas from it.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's firmly in the category of games I will play, but I will not run.
Yeah. Whereas Coriolis, I would definitely run that at some point.
So, I will move. I'm going to jump down to this one because I like this one. Best monster or adversary, because I do love my monsters. So we have the Dolmenwood monster book.
Oh my God. Chris is going to get on this one.
The Monsters of Drakenheim. Starfinder Alien Core. The Field Guide to Floral Dragons box set. And Wrath of the Kaiju.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So For me, it's Dolmenwood because the Dolmenwood monster book is hands down one of my favorite monster books of all time. I think it's one of the best done of all role-playing monster books that have ever been done.
That's very high praise. Yeah. I just don't. For me, I have minimal interest in Dolmenwood. And it might just be because I haven't seen anything on it or really looked into it. Out of the ones,
I'm with I'm on the train with Dolmenwood too, but again, it's mostly because I haven't actually read through the rest of them.
yeah, the Starfinder Alien Core, like I own Pathfinder stuff, 2E. I own a lot of it already, and it's really well done. I know the art, we talked about that ad nauseum recently. Isn't the greatest, but I would definitely go with that one.
I have both Monsters of Drakenheim and Wrath of the Kaiju. They're both 5e.
Yeah.
Supplements.
Drakenheim. I looked at that one and like, nah. Which one would you want, Waples?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always going to be interested in kaiju.
It does have. It does have literal kaiju that you cannot just fight regular. You have to climb up and find weak spots. And
I mean that I like, because I think a lot of times they do kaiju wrong, in my opinion. With how easy they are to kill and fight and whatnot. Just look at the Terrask and how pathetic it is to kill that thing. So yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that. It makes me sad looking at this list and just seeing all this really good content and stuff out there, and just kind of understand that I won't have time in my life to touch any of this, in any capacity. That kind of makes me sad. I just got, and like, I know you kind of skipped it already. We should go over best streaming content.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna do another one before there. I wanted to hit.
Yeah, to do yours and then go back to the best streaming content.
Well, that's further down the list, so we're not down there yet. Yeah, weirdly, best game and best monster are pretty far up, pretty high. There's the best production values, where you get. And I'll just bring those up because Crooked Moon is up for it again.
Yeah. Yeah, Crooked Moons. Yeah, go ahead. Just read them off. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
You have Legend of the Mist, their Ravenholm Slipcase, Mappa Mundi, an exploration and ecology RPG, Terra Antarctica again, Crooked Moon Ultimate Edition, and the Spark Devil.
Huh.
So me and Chris will probably differ on the Crooked Moon because he got the ones that are misprinted, and I never noticed it, which is on me, but. Like, no, yeah. Hey, look, the production value on that thing is fan-fucking-tastic. I talked about it. It was my game of the year last year. Maybe someday I'll actually get to run it. We'll see.
Right. I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, their production values on the marketing was over the fucking top.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a very good-looking game.
Yep.
I'm going to go to best setting real quick before we do best streaming. We have Dolmenwood campaign book up here. We have the Grim Hollow campaign guide from Ghostfire Gaming. Household Volume 2. Ryoko's Guide to the Yokai Realms. And somehow I missed Ekrami Player's Guide. Yeah. For me, it is once again Dolmenwood, because Dolmenwood is fantastic, though Grim Hollow is pretty interesting, and Ryoko's Guide looks really pretty.
Huh. I'm looking at the Ekrami Player's Guide. I'm going to have to look more into that. The art on the cover looks fantastic. Out of those, I would probably, just not knowing anything about any of them, go with Ryoko's Guide to the Yokai Realms, because that sounds interesting. Sounds very Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Sort of. They have a Bender class for 5e. So.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone else?
Dolmenwood. Yeah, I'm boring.
All right.
Yep.
Here's what Christopher wanted. I don't know any of these, so
Same, yeah.
Chris, take it away, man.
Well, it was less so cozy RPG reviews. Get Your Sheet Together by Darrington Press, which is Matt Mercer's one of
Yeah.
his streams. How's My Driving? The Panic Table and Dungeon Club games. One Shot, Last Train to Bremen. One Shot, and the Good Friends of Jackson Elias podcast. Why aren't we submitting ourselves for Ennies, guys?
I know, right?
We should definitely do it for next year.
What are the
Yeah.
Ennies?
I blame myself.
I think we should. We had a lot of good guests this year. We'll probably have a couple more good ones. Maybe we'll
It's true.
maybe we
Alright.
could at least
Yeah.
just be submitted.
Let's do it.
We could be
Yeah.
award winning, guys. Don't you want to be award winning?
I mean,
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Or even award losing. We have to apply
Yeah.
for an award first.
Yeah.
So any last ones you wanted to throw on here?
I'll do one more, just to try to keep it short and do the product of the year.
That's a good one,
and
yeah.
Yeah,
Feel
they
like we're just
have
repeating the
quite
same
a good
things.
list here. There is Coriolis, the Great Dark Core Rulebook, Daggerheart, the Dolmenwood Campaign Book, the Legend of the Mist Core Book, the Menagerie of Unbearable Things, the Bonsai Diary, Crooked Moon Ultimate Edition, Field Guide to Floral Dragons box set, the Spark Devil, and the White Horse of Lowvale.
So what would yours be, Christian?
This was a really hard one for me because there are three that I really like. There's Dolmenwood, there is the White Horse of Lowvale, and then there's the Menagerie of Unbearable Things. Both the White Horse of Lowvale and Menagerie of Unbearable Things are Tanya Herrero, and I love all her stuff and all her art. So, but ultimately, I think I had to go for this one for the Dolmenwood campaign book. It's just really well done. But Tanya Herrero's both of her stuff are call-ups.
Yeah.
Are
I do
my runner-ups.
I do like her art.
Yeah. It's pretty fantastic.
So my heart for this one tells me I want to vote for Coriolis, but having not actually gotten a copy of it, I have to vote for Crooked Moon. Dan?
I'm Dolmenwood again.
Dolmenwood.
I mean, it's the one that I'm most heavily invested in. I mean, I've heard Christian talk a lot about the two he was mentioning, the White Horse of Lowvale and the Menagerie of Unbearable Things. But other than seeing the art, I don't really have them. And the only other game I've played is Daggerheart, and I have a copy of the book. But it was well laid out. But I really like the art and everything about Dolmenwood. I'd love to actually play and or run that. I like Christian. I don't think I'm ever going to run Daggerheart.
Yeah. Pretty much the same. And Waypoles, which you can
I'm
talk
gonna go
about.
with the Field Guide to the Floral Dragons box set.
You said you didn't care about it earlier.
No, that was the miniatures. He doesn't need the miniatures.
No,
That's how he loves
I
the Floral Dragon.
It's actually
think
really cool.
it is really cool, but I think
like
it's going to be. I think I'd want it to be the Crooked Moon stuff. I just want to see them be very successful with it. I'm not sure how well their Spelljammer variation kind of went. I'm sure it was successful, but Crooked Moon, my wife loved it a lot. Again, still haven't a chance to play it, which is sad, but
You should run it. Run it on stream.
it's easier said than done, man. I can't find
know.
players for that game now.
Yep, it's fair.
Well, if you were wondering, their next thing, their Spelljammer Neon Odyssey Space Opera D&D raised $16 million.
Woo.
Holy shit!
God effing damn, really?
So I will
don't
say
think they have a
they seem
problem.
to be,
Doing
moderately
okay.
successful.
Doing okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how they're doing what they're doing. What they seem to have, their group, their people.
They have fucking great marketers, is what they've got.
Maybe. you know, and marketing's a problem for us. Like, I can't figure out how to fucking promote us as any more than we're doing, you know.
Got to
It's
spend
just-
money to make money, buddy.
Maybe.
I mean, they decided to spend some money. They put in the work of if you look back at the stuff, like it's not like they came out of nowhere. They have been doing live play and streams and stuff for years, getting very small numbers of views. But they just kept doing it, and they're literally just a group of friends that like to screw around on
Yeah.
a camera.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it too is TikTok, because I found them through the shorts. Okay. I found a couple other really cool Let's Plays through their shorts as well too. I mean, they're a very funny group, a lot of funny people. I've been kind of like just, you know, tuning in to like how they play their games, you know, like it's all storytelling. There's never, you know, much dice rolling. There's definitely no combat, no tactical fighting. It's just a story and, you know, 4 or 5 guys ad-libbing and just shooting the shit and improving for a couple hours. And, you know, props to them. They do a fantastic job doing it, you know. It's not D&D as you guys would call it to be, you know, but it's definitely a watchable show for sure. So maybe they
Right.
figured out the code. Don't play the game, just talk about it.
Each their own.
Yep. All right. Any last things before we wrap this up?
Seriously, submit us for Ennies next year, guys. We could
Please
win.
do.
Get right
Yeah.
on that.
Yep.
What's an innie?
Different from an Audi.
Hey yo.
Bye, Craig.